during the everyday visits, we can feel what's going on. We push in the spinal system. If it's nice and compliant and moving, then you have a really healthy spinal system. But when it's hard, when it's locked, right, that's when that spinal cord is pulled taut and tense, and that's when the higher brain is not in charge, but the lower brain's in charge, because it's sending those stress hormones through your system. So the other thing is when you're on the table and you're in a relaxed state, you can actually see the body moving up and down as you're breathing. Okay, so a lot of you, when I'm working on you, I'll tell you to focus on your breath and focus on the movement of your spine. And that's because we're engaging the higher part of the brain, we're focusing on the spinal system, and that's helping the body to shift from the lower brain being in charge to the higher brain being in charge, and the body will start to self-regulate and release tension. This is a picture of, or this is a brain scan of two people. So this person, as you can see, this is a prefrontal cortex. This is a brain scan of a healthy, emotionally stable and balanced person. So they have all this nice access in their prefrontal cortex, right? This is a part of our brain that makes us human. This is a scan of a violent and aggressive person who was in jail. And you can see that they're actually literally missing parts of their prefrontal cortex. This is when, and the other piece is you can see this is the back part of the brain. So this is the fight or flight part of the brain. Can you see how overly large this is compared to that one?
Mm-hmm.
So
that part of the brain actually looks healthier on that person than the prefrontal cortex.
Right, except this is our lizard brain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a bad brain.
Yeah. So this is, if we were lizards, we want that to be really active. But we're not lizards, we're humans. Mm-hmm. And so when we're using that part of the brain like that, we're reacting with strong emotions, we're reactive. Have you ever met someone that you say something and they just fly off the handle? That person is operating out of this part of the brain. Versus you say something to someone and maybe you are having a bad day, right? Maybe you're having a bad day and maybe you said something that's triggered them. But when we're using this prefrontal cortex, we can use it to be more rational. And we can say, you know, maybe they're having a bad day, or maybe they said something and I should talk to them about it, or whatever that is. That's all prefrontal. But when we're using this back part of the brain, it's like, and we're just flying from there. The average person isn't going to have loss in their prefrontal cortex, but people who are in that fight or flight literally from the time they're in utero. There are studies, and Oprah Winfrey discussed studies that were done on fetuses in utero who were born to mothers who were in extreme stress when they were born. So they were maybe living in inner cities, had lots of violence around them when they were having these babies. And so they actually had larger hindbrains, or the lower part of the brain, than mothers who didn't have that stress around their lives. And those babies had higher prefrontal cortexes. So these patterns can actually start from before we're even born.